Hey there, guys. This is Flamzeron, aka YouTube's Tasuke, and I don't really talk about this series that much. I think I have a little bit because of Dragon Quest Heroes, but for those of you who haven't heard, Dragon Quest 11 has been announced. It's going to be coming out for the PlayStation 4 and possibly the Nintendo NX, but also the 3DS. And interestingly enough, the PS4 and the 3DS versions are going to be more or less two different games. The 3DS PS4 version is going to be more akin to Dragon Quest 10 and Dragon Quest 8 in terms of how it looks and plays. This came from a like live stream video with a pretty girl in a suit who doing the being like, those, if you've seen those press conference videos, and there's always the person going, what, like she's like the super emotional. She was the host, basically. She was the hostess, but she was also very attractive. Anyway, so it's gonna have, like, the really nice graphics and whatnot, and it looks a little more open world, and the enemies, they'll actually show up on screen for you to interact with, as opposed to just being like the typical, like, no enemy in sight, random encounter kind of thing. They didn't show any combat, though. Recent scan has seemed to have confirmed that it's going to play more like Dragon Quest 10, the online MMO game, where it seems kind of like a seamless kind of battle system. It's still going to be turn based, but it's going to, I guess, kind of like Final Fantasy 11 and 12, except probably without the ability to move around. I don't know. I was kind of hoping they would take a more actiony approach, and based on the footage of the PS4 version that they showed, it almost looked like it was a little more actiony because you could, like, jump and stuff. I don't know. It looked really actiony, and I think it would have been cool. The main character looks kind of cool as well. He's got, like, his sword on his back, and it kind of looks like Android 17. I mean, the art's done by AKIRA Toriyama again, so that's cool. But also the 3DS version, it's doing something kind of weird. Like, the top screen is going to be more like what they've been doing with the DS Dragon Quest games. Like, I think Dragon Quest 9. I think they're going to kind of do what they've been doing with that, where it's kind of like super deformed and like in 3D and whatnot. But also on the bottom screen, they're going to have a retro like a Super Nintendo version, and it's apparently going to be in, like, real time as well. According to latest updates, like, they're not going to, like, show them simultaneously every single time, which I'm actually kind of glad, because I feel like in doing that, I think it'd be too weird to have two different versions of the game go on at the same time. I think it's cool that they have both, but it's like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I'll probably play the PS4 version, even if it's going to be turn-based, because, as you guys know, I'm not a big fan of turn-based. But I'd like to, I think it would look nicer, and if it's going to be a little more open world and be on a console, that'd be nice, though. I'm going to have to be careful with my PS4's hard drive, because I think it's starting to fill up, but I'm kind of getting more interested in Dragon Quest, if not solely because of the whole, it's the mark that it's had on JRPGs, as well as the Akira Toriyama art and Dragon Quest Heroes, and of course they're making a second one of that, which I haven't talked about yet, because I still need to actually play the first, but it needs to actually come out first in English. But yeah, I'm actually kind of looking forward to this. Kind of like Ys, I'm kind of getting into the series a little late. I mean, with Ys, it's more like that one, the Ys is built a little more off of nostalgia, because I had the demo of Arc Nepestium back in the day in, like, middle school. But Dragon Quest, I might talk. I mean, I played the demo of 8 from a Shonen Jump magazine. I was aware of it, so I knew it originally as Dragon Warrior, and then, friggin' Dragon Quest, and I've really only played 8, actually, and a little bit of an emulated Dragon Quest 1. But I want to play some of the others and give them a try and see how they are. And I know Blue Dragon is also another one by Akira Toriyama. But that's a subject for another day. We need to focus on Dragon Quest 11. I'm definitely gonna give it a try and see how it is. I think it'd be a nice. It really depends on Dragon Quest Heroes, and they've said, Square Enix has said, they don't have any plans for releasing, or they'll consider releasing Dragon Quest 11 in English in North America and whatnot. But I feel like it probably just depends on the sales of Dragon Quest Heroes, because we're getting that, and they're probably bringing over Heroes primarily because they feel like they don't want fans to think that the series is getting stale. I haven't been following the series, so I don't know if that's been a complaint. But it'll be interesting to see kind of how things go. I will say I'm a little disappointed that both versions are going to be turn-based. And before you guys flame, I understand that they have to, keep that. It would have been kind of blasphemous if they had changed the battle system. But what you got to understand is, they're kind of already setting themselves up for a potential they're already setting themselves up in case of a potential failure of the PS4 version, in a way. Because, the 3DS version, it's like a classic Dragon Quest game, and they showed footage of that. So I almost got the impression that the reason why they were doing two different versions was just in case they didn't like one version. Like, in case, like, the PS4 version was, like, super different, and they're like, oh, we don't like it. And so, like, okay, well, then play the 3DS version if that's more up your alley. If that's more like what you want in your Dragon Quest game, the traditional Dragon Quest game. And again, that just came from a scan, like a screenshot, which is my main source. I mean, for all we know, it could play like Kingdom Hearts. That'd actually be kind of cool. But that's just my general viewpoint. I feel like if they're gonna take the time to make two different games, they should actually be two different games and not like an SD and an HD version of the same game. It's like, because both the PS4 and the 3DS are really popular, so I wouldn't even be surprised if people have both. So it's like, why not offer two different games? But that's just me. I don't want to start anything, and of course I'm kind of a noob to Dragon Quest, so I'm not too familiar with the ins and outs of the series. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see how this game shapes up, and I'll probably get it on PS4 unless the PS4 version is like racist or something. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.